start getting hot, bring it up. If the lies need sunlight, bring it up. Cause every night we talk love and then we talk lies, then we laugh, then we open your eyes. If it's messy but it's funny, bring it up. If it's sweet but it's shady, bring it up. Cause every night we talk love and then we talk lies. Real talk in our Cayman tonight.
Okay. That's enough now.
You okay?
All right, yeah, what's going on?
Another thing. You're tuned into Real Talk, Love and Lies, the late night space where we put love, lies, and all the messy in between on the table without the fake perfection. We're your hosts, Alfred and Matilda.
And Matilda, I'm so sorry.
And our other co-hosts are you, the listeners. Your stories shape this show. If you're new here, this is where we talk honestly about relationships and betrayal, laugh so we don't cry, and ask the questions most people only whisper about in group chats. So get comfortable, plug in your headphones, or turn the volume down low if the kids are still awake. This is Real Talk, Love and Lies, and we're just getting started. Quick disclaimer before we get into it. The content you're about to hear, including discussions and opinions from us, our guests and participants, is intended solely for general informational and entertainment purposes. We are not therapists, lawyers, doctors, or financial advisors, and nothing said on this show should be taken as professional advice. It is not a substitute for counseling, legal guidance, medical care, or financial consultation. If you have specific concerns, we strongly encourage you to seek advice from a qualified professional. Real Talk, Love and Lies accepts no liability for any decisions or actions taken based on the information shared here tonight. We're here for honest conversation, respectfully shared, and any resemblance to real people is purely coincidental. Unless you just checked your account balance and heard a man say, "Babe, you good?" So,
Oh, babe, you good?
well, if you want to keep the conversation going after the show, you can scan the QR code on the screen, give us a follow on Instagram, and you can join us on our Real Talk WhatsApp news channel for the topic drops, episode updates, and the spicy questions before we go live. And if you've been living under a rock the last couple years and you still somehow don't follow them, go fix that right now. Follow Cayman Mall Road, Cayman's #1 source for fast news, real talk, and all the Cayman happenings before your group chat even wakes up. So, Matilda,
Oi.
talk to me. How you doing?
Well, you know that this topic gonna get me good and hot, right? Because nothing that I think we said we're gonna start with the poll. Let's start with the poll because I feel like the options on the poll are so gentle, and you know what my default is. So let's run that first. Because we did a poll and we do this. This is why you want to follow our WhatsApp channel because we do a poll almost every week right before we do our episode. We pull it down, we anonymize it, and then we put it up for us to talk about tonight.
So the question for tonight's show, whether you're in it yourself or you've watched it happen, when a man is living a soft life, rent, car, groceries, lifestyle covered by his partner, what's usually the real reason why? And can I just say, I'm not so surprised by the results that came in. So our options were the love is strong and the partner doesn't mind it. It brings peace and peace is hard to find. The bedroom Olympics are on an elite level. That was the #1 answer, by the way. He just needs a little time, he going to level up. Starting over in Cayman, nah, I'll manage. They like the power. If I pay, I call the shots.
I'm so glad that's the lowest one.
So, which one? The power one? If I pay, I call the shot?
Yeah, if I pay, I call the shot. I'm so glad that is the lowest one.
Are you
surprised? What was the last one?
Other.
I think I might have clicked other because to me, that means he's just a waste man. That's what Shensia talk about. Do your own thing, stop with waste man.
Yes.
Plus, him love beg you money too.
Well,
Can't pay rent and I bother you. Don't program me. Listen, that's my anthem. That Shansia song, a particular song.
I hear you. But
Do you know
that
the
whole
song? I gotta make sure you find it because I don't know. I'm not sure we should be playing it on the show.
yeah. I don't want no damn copyright strikes. So the bedroom Olympics one though, that was kind of obvious because I think
That's
that's the first
foolishness,
thing.
though.
I think that's what people tend to think the most is that he probably performing in bed and that's why the woman kind of doing everything for him.
No, not
But
necessarily.
well, I mean that's the number one answer that people chose. But
Mhm.
what I find interesting is that the two answers that tied for second place, he brings peace, and peace is hard to find, as well as other. What do you think about that?
I don't think others that mean he a waste man. Because I noticed that all of these answers, no, serious. I think all these answers are suggesting like, this is why she chooses it.
Mhm.
When the truth of the matter is the man is just a waste man.
Well, with that being said, right? Hardwood soft life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure people, when we posted it up on Instagram and people saw the title of the show, they're wondering like what is this? What are they talking about? So I mean, you want to give a definition for this? You want to go and explain?
Well, I think you need to get clear on what it means. Well, okay, it comes from hard wig soft life, right? Which is something we talked about before. Which is this trend, particularly in Black women, who they put on a wig wrong, and there's like a whole instruction manual on how to put your wig on wrong and make it like the nastiest nylon wig you can ever find, and that's what's gonna attract the big money, right? The big money man.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But it's a trend on TikTok and on Instagram, hard wig soft life, and a lot of women are making fun of it and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the male version of that, I think you came up with this one on your own. Though I have to give you the credit, was hard wig soft life.
No, that was for those who listen. Like we when we were doing before we aired last week Friday, we were joking around and we were talking about this hardwood soft life. Now hardwood soft life, and then that then led into the title of this show. I mean, I guess it's better than softwood hard life, right?
Oh well, which also does not equate, by the way. So I want challenge one. I want challenge the number one. Okay. So as a personal, I think I'd probably deserve a medal for being a waste man magnet. And so the whole soft life thing seems to have been something that men thought that they could get when they saw my face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, it does not always add up to good things in the bedroom. I think women choose to stay in these things for other reasons other than sex. Because the truth is, no.
well, explain, because I mean we have a few other answers on the board. Like,
you mean me? You want my expert advice, being from the waste man magnet position?
I mean, are you an expert?
I'm a waste. I tell you, I got a magnet that the love is strong and the partner doesn't mind it. That might be how it starts. So he brings peace, and peace is hard to find. Not in this economy. The bedroom Olympics are on elite. It could work. That not really been my experience. He just needs a little time. He going to level up. I think that is actually a big one. We fool ourselves and say, oh, he's gonna, particularly if it's a younger man, we will fool ourselves and tell ourselves, boy, he just got to grow up. I got to give him a little time. I can't expect him to be where I am.
So you fall for potential.
Why not? Correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It must be this tall to ride this ride. Before you go on to one of those, oh God, you can hear him crashing. On one of those roller coasters, they always have this sign that says must be this tall to ride this ride, and you stand up next to it, make sure you're that tall. So it must go. And I'll go ahead now, starting over in Cayman. Now I'll manage. That I think happens especially to women with children. That one I really think happens to women with children, or women that want children and their time is running out. They like the
Mm.
power. If I pay, I call the shots. I know some really toxic girls that could choose that, but there are very few of them. I can't tell you that is a common answer. But the answer on there is that boy, he presents himself as I think the potential one is the biggest one, to be honest. And to my mind, the most realistic one. Because let me tell you something, that them bedroom antics, they can get real. I don't know what it is, after a while, when somebody not pulling their weight, you just lose attraction. You don't want that inside you. That's a dependent now. And if you start to see somebody as a dependent, you
Oh
start to see
shit.
them as a child. And if you start to see them as a child, if you're not a pedophile, you probably start to lose attraction. So the bedroom antics couldn't cut it.
Boss lady Shana 11 on Instagram asked, "What happened at Waterfront now?"
Oh no. What I mean?
I don't know. Something happening at Waterfront.
I don't know. And were you seeing these things? They're on Instagram?
I seen on Instagram.
Oh, I'm not seeing the Instagram comments.
Seen on Instagram, man. Yeah, man, I seen it. But
Mhm.
for those who are just now joining in, just to be clear, right? As Matilda said, right? The title of the show, Hardwood Soft Life, came from Hardwig Soft Life. So meaning the wig might be fighting for its life, but the life is sweet. So the trips, the spoiling, the ease, the softness,
It's usually a white man with money. It's like pasta and lobster.
right. So I mean, so the joke is, the presentation might be struggling, but the lifestyle is thriving, right? So, but the hardwood soft life now is that man whose main offering, well, I mean, Matilda she kind of debunked that, but his main offering is bedroom excellence. Well, maybe not excellence, but maybe okay.
Presents.
And the good time, bedroom presence,
He got
right?
pulse. He got pulse.
While somebody else is covering the hard parts of life, so the rent, the groceries, the car note, the data plan. And before the men who listen to the show start protesting, remember, we're not shaming a consensual arrangement. We're talking about a type. We're talking about the man who has, he's between jobs. But
you can speak for yourself. I can shame him.
cut on a little slack, no man. Cut on a little slack, no man. The man who's between jobs for 18 months, but he's somehow always fresh. Haircut, everything. He always fresh when he come out. Haircuts, cologne smelling. He smell up nice and everything.
Babe, I pay my bills. You don't have to pay my bills. Oh, but you don't pay. But the only bill you really have is your phone bill.
If
right? That don't include the mortgage or the rent. That'll include the utilities. Because no, babe, those are your bills, babe. Those are your bills. Growl.
Yeah. So just to be clear, let's put the three categories on the table so that we can make sure that, everybody is clear. We have sugar mama culture. This one is fairly straightforward. For those who don't know, a sugar mama is an older woman. She's usually more established, whereas the guy is younger, or maybe he's just more available, and everybody knows what's happening. It might be love, it might be convenience, it might be companionship, but the terms are usually unspoken and they're understood. All right? Then in another category, we have house husbands. This one, even though it's a bit rarer than what we're used to with housewives, it's still respectable when it's real, because a house husband is a role, right? If you're running the home and you're raising the kids and you're managing errands and you're cooking and you're cleaning
and the
and
house is spotless and the food is on point,
right? That still work. That's still contribution, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I could do with a nice house husband, and I'm gonna lie. Go on.
But
no,
some
not
people,
really. No.
But some people confuse house husband with house guest. And this now is where we're going into this whole soft guy era thing. This is the modern branding. The man says he's soft, he's gentle, he's emotionally intelligent, he's non-traditional, he's not into gender roles. And sometimes it's genuine growth. But sometimes it's a very polished way to say, I don't want no pressure, but I still want the benefits.
Or I don't want work.
Or I don't want work.
Afraid of hard work.
And the big question is this a joke or is it actually happening? So I have a few clips for you. I want to share some clips. Take a look.
I'm seeing all these dudes online talking about soft guy era this, soft guy era that. Y'all wanting girls to pay for stuff. And honestly, bro, you type of dudes, bro, is damn right. It's about time. Personally, if you ask me, it couldn't have been said better. I'm just relieved to know that it ain't just me. You want to come here asking me what I got to offer, what I bring to the table. Baby, I am the table. And it's not the question of do I got money. Obviously, but I want yours. How could we speaking our mind? Now we sassy. Now we acting zesty. What y'all be saying? And did. Don't care. I'm finna put your ass to work. I'm looking for the big ballers, okay? When that bill comes to the table, don't even look in my direction. It's giving broke girl. And baby, if that's the case, that's fine. Just say that. No judgment, but next caller. I'm sorry, boo. No money on your dunion. It's gotta go. At this point, I'm not even answering the call unless I get a cash app first. Like, what? Where's my money for my haircut? You want me to pump the gas? I forgot my wallet for me, my favorite line. And don't ask me to take out the trash. Baby, I'm in Margiela's. This ain't no soft boy era. This is soft boy forever. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we'll see how he likes that when he's in.
Do y'all know she tried to sleep with me on the first date? Do I look like a whore? So the second day comes around and I let her hit because if you make her wait a day, then it's different. You have to respect your body. We are kings. Can I get a drizzle drizzle? But she had the nerve to ask me to get on top. I'm a pillow king. I'm gonna lay here and you're gonna do all the work. But I had to let her go because I'm in my soft guy era. On the way home, I had a flat tire. So I called her. She said, what you calling me for? I'm like, you really gonna make me change my own tire? What woman doesn't know how to change a tire? This dating scene is so slim pickings. I'm never going to find a good woman, even though I'm looking in all the wrong places. So I'm just going to categorize every woman as bad women, even though I know that I'm picking the bad ones. It makes perfect sense. To all my soft guy era kings, do not settle for less. And remember, you're single until she puts a ring on it. And to all the women who don't get it, please, don't about y'all business.
I find a great woman. Where can I find a provider woman? Let me help you. Personally would recommend shopping at the highest end grocery stores that you can find. We're not talking Publix, we're talking Greenwise. And we're not looking for Coach bags when we're looking for bags, right? We're not looking for them. Don't ask a girl out on a date, okay? They want to be the ones to initiate, all right? Let them initiate. Women love the chase. So if they say they want to try a different place that they've been thinking about trying for a while, and you say, that sounds great to me, I'd love to go. So you go, and when the bill comes, you make sure that she pays and she understands that that is her job as the provider in the relationship.
We're done with the patriarchy and this old archaic way of doing things where we're supposed to provide and protect for you, where we're supposed to be willing to risk and give our lives for you. Listen, we don't need to bring anything to the table because we are the table. Without my seed, you can't have any kids, drizzle, drizzle. I need to get my beard taken care of every Tuesday. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and send $75 to my barber via Cash App every Tuesday before I get there so that I can get my hair taken care of. Drizzle, drizzle.
I just want a woman to come into my life and just take all the weight off my shoulders. I can't do this alone. I'm tired of being a strong, independent man. I'm tired of it. Like, I just want to be at home, cook and clean, and then when my woman gets off of work, I can just give her her meal and she can just lay down while I rub her feet. I just want to be her housekeeper.
See, he's in a different
I don't want to go to work anymore. I'm tired of working these 50, 60-hour weeks and I'm paying all my own bills. I'm just so I'm tired. I can't handle it anymore. I just really can't do it anymore. So I'm looking for my queen, my hard-working queen.
Listen, sometimes you can have someone that's so good for you and someone that can just raise your standards so high and higher than they ever been, and someone that can just treat you like you're the only person alive and treat you like a king that you are and just rub your feet and rub your back and tell you how handsome you are as a man and give you weekly allowances and let you use her car and let you stay at her crib and don't have to pay no rent and she's paying for everything. And that's still not enough. I mean, sometimes you need to go further and find a better wife because, listen, we're leaving the broke dusties in the past. If she doesn't make 6 figures or more, has 6 bodies or less, or have a 6 feet deep water park, if you know what I'm saying, drizzle, we're not dealing with it. We're walking into our soft guy era, and we can't let these dusties win anymore.
Oh my God, my head hurts. Bro, this is why there is a male loneliness epidemic. But you know the funny part, right? I'll tell you a funny part about this is that the drizzle stuff, that is such a rip-off of sprinkle.
I think that's what they were going for.
I'm sure that's what they were going for. And they said exactly the kind of stuff that she says, except they reversed the gender. So, and I think that might just, some of that is parody. So I totally get that. Because she herself is problematic, even though she's hilarious. And don't get me wrong, I found it hilarious. But there was one guy in there who wanted to be a house husband and like rub her feet and provide her with meals. And to me, that's like, okay, that's 50-50. Home is taken care of. You go out on the road, be good. We just live a modest life and get things going. Right? I totally get that. But I don't know. This is, it's so funny. When women say these things, they mean it. But when men do, they don't.
But hold on now. But Matilda, we all know at least one guy running wrong in Cayman. We know he not doing nothing. We know he there with the woman. Matter of fact, he driving the woman car and picking up other girlfriends in the woman car.
You're absolutely right. In fact, we know too many of them. In fact, it's plenty of them. But the part is,
it's like an epidemic.
I know, but the part that I don't believe is that, move on to the next one. Move on to the next one. No, you gotta hold on to her because you don't know if the next one could be so foolish to take you on. And it's such a funny thing. It's such a funny thing. The world is so upside down right now. And all I can think of the guy in his army uniform. I'm like, bro, I know you're trying to do anything to get out of going to Iran, but this is not it.
I have a question for you, right? You think looks have anything to do with it?
Yeah, they can't. I seen an ugly man pull it off, though, So now I think it's either looks or bedroom athletics.
Because actually no, I mean I say that because if I say it, people are gonna know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna say it.
Okay, try and like trim it down a little bit because now I'm dying to know.
So there's this particular man in Cayman, famous or infamous, right?
I listened.
He don't work. I don't think this man ever worked.
I know where we're going with this.
He got 11 children for 11 baby mothers.
Okay, that doesn't narrow it down at all. I thought I knew who this was, but now I really don't.
Well, yeah, I try and remember this anonymous show. We try not to expose.
I know.
Right, but I'm just thinking, right? Like this man has absolutely nothing going for him. He has no prospects. He has no property. He has no job. He has no way of providing for these women. And you would think that baby mother number or potential baby mother number 15 would look back at baby mothers 14 to 1. And will say, you know what? No, I'm good. I'm okay. But
she can fix him.
But she can fix him, right? and he living up with her like he was living up with the other 14 before. And the thing is that she was number 15. He must have about 20, 30 under his belt by now. And I'm wondering, the hell? I mean,
you know what I say? There's nobody more romantic than a narcissist who needs a place to live.
What they call the hobosexual? A hobosexual?
Nobody more romantic than a narcissist who needs a place to live. But I don't. Go ahead, continue with your story and your example.
Well, no, I was just saying. I was just asking, like, what is it? Because you would think that. I mean, I don't know, call me crazy, but most of the women I know, they're looking for security from a man, right? I mean, yeah, they're fine with working and making their own money, but their money is theirs, his money is ours, right? And they tend to be looking for, a man like that.
Really? That's the most of the women that you know?
Well, a lot of women that I know, I mean, wouldn't fall for this.
No, they wouldn't fall for this.
But I mean, I find like a lot of especially younger women sometimes even older women fall into this foolishness. It's like, here's this man who, like I said, he not waste man, proper waste man, but yet still
running
you
it,
aspire to be baby mother number 20.
And come and we'll tell her how to do things too. Like, don't spend your money on that. Don't spend your money on this. We'll pull some of them high muscle antics too.
The other day I saw him walking down the road, Matilda. Right? I saw him walking down the road. My guy got the latest Samsung phone. My phone is about 6 years old. He don't work. Right? Hair done. He got ring on every finger. Right? Hair, like you want to say hair, like hair in plaits and guy line up and everything. And I'm like, I know he didn't do it on his own.
Like you said, that's a soft life. That's a soft life.
So my question is, right? Like, is this?
I listen.
Is this new, or have men been doing this forever, just in different forms? What's your opinion?
I think it's new, and I tell you why I think it's new. Men would shame other men for being waste men before. Like in my grandfather's era, even in my dad's generation, they would look at each other and say, you don't want to do with a man like that. They would be ostracized. Because that's not a man. Right? I don't know what changed, but something did. And I'm wondering if it had something to do with like technology and, I don't actually know. I feel like technology has replaced a lot of like trade jobs. Jobs in general, not just trade jobs. What am I saying? But it's replaced a lot of that. And it's like, and on top of it, the economy has put us all in this position where we're like making just enough to live and don't really see a whole lot of stuff. I've seen people turn down jobs, and men in particular turn down jobs. They haven't had a job in 10 years, but they're going to turn down a job because they don't pay too much and it's not worth their time. And I kind of get it, it sounds crazy when you just say it flat like that, but I kind of get it. Because if you are not making enough to pay for gas to get to your job, it don't make sense. You understand? Like, so, but where was I going with this? No, I think it's new. I think it's new because there was a pride that men used to take in previous generations in being able to at least take care of themselves. And then on top of it, take care of their woman. I used to hear like older cousins used to say that, yeah, she just works because what she makes is hers, and that's her fancy money, right? They would tease their little. She got her little job. She making her fancy money, right? And I then I'm the breadwinner, right? And that's what men aspired to be in the past, and it was like there's a matter of pride. But now you're starting to see a matter of pride in what they can get out of a woman. It's almost like revenge against feminism.
See, I tend to fall in the camp of there's nothing new under the sun. And I think, men have always found ways to be maintained. It's, it used to be quieter and it used to be wrapped in respectability, but now with social media, it just makes it louder, more flashy, and a little less shameless. Yeah?
Yes, to a certain extent, men have always found ways to be maintained, but there was a time when women didn't work, right? And women weren't allowed to have bank accounts, and that's not that long ago. So, yes, they came home to a house that was fully maintained. So, yes, they were fed, they were cared for, their clothes were ironed and washed, and their underwear was pressed. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's that existed. But now that women are like, okay, now I have to work. I can't maintain you to that extent. They're like, okay, we'll just take your money instead then. And you still have to maintain us by washing the clothes and doing all the stuff at home. Because don't get me wrong, there's a difference between a house husband and a waste man.
Well, for those who are wondering, what are the signs that a man is aiming for a soft life on your dime? Some signs include you know, he gets very comfortable with you very early. He gets very comfortable in your house very early.
Moves
So
in the first night.
by week 2, he already have towel, slippers, and he already got opinions about what's going on in your house and how it should go and this and that, right? That's one sign. Another sign would be, you know, if going back to that poll thing, or, you know, he just needs time to grow. His ambition is always about to start. You know, everything is coming soon. Soon come. You all know that phrase? Soon come. Everything soon come. Nothing is here and now. He uses romance to avoid accountability. He'll hold you and he'll kiss you and he'll love bomb you, beat you up and sweet mouth. But when it's time to contribute, all of a sudden now you need to be a little more understanding about his situation.
They're like the memes when the woman at the cash point or she had the ATM and her man holding on behind her. Or is she at the counter to pay and her man just holding up behind her?
Oh, a big one. A big one is when he gets defensive anytime you mention money. Right?
So, and in particular, if he accuses you of all you care about is money. All you care about is money. You don't love me.
You're being disrespectful.
You don't appreciate me. All you care about is money.
But he has no problem asking you to send him $40. Or to you know, just give me.
Or to not contribute to anything in your house at all. Like there's not a single bill that he's ever paid. Can you tell that I'm really pissed about that kind of life? Can you tell that it like this is a little too close to the bone?
I think you can tell us more.
No.
But I think the reason this works sometimes is because, you know, the woman likes feeling chosen, and the man likes feeling provided for, and both of them, you know, pretend it's love so that nobody has to feel embarrassed. But I mean, eventually reality always comes to collect, right?
I think it's more complicated than a woman wanting to feel chosen, though, you know.
You think so?
Yeah. I tell you what I think it is, particularly. So I notice that this happens particularly to women in their 30s. Women in their 20s, particularly when they're beautiful and they feel strong and confident with themselves, they don't take that kind of foolishness. Because they know that they're young, they know they're hot, they know that they have all the time in the world to do the things they want to do with their lives. And they're probably focusing on their careers and they don't care. Women in their 30s are like, okay, the clock is ticking. I need to settle down and have a kid. And not all women in their 30s have this, but a lot of women in their 30s have this. And they call this like the biological imperative. And that is something that actually changes how they see the world. It's a real thing. It's a really scary thing, actually. And so they start to like look around and say, oh, I only got like 5 to 10 years left or whatever it is, right? And so then they start to settle. And then they're looking for genes in that man. They're not necessarily looking for the stability that women in the past were looking for, because she already has that. Now she's looking for genes. Like, is he tall? Is he good looking? Does he have a brain? Is he literate? You know, like, can he do things? Does he have talents, etc.? What he doing with them becomes important when you got to feed them children. But you don't even think about that, because you know what, he's growing, you know, he'll grow into it. When the child comes, like it'll probably like make him grow up faster, because that's a myth that we tell everyone, like that the whole birthing culture tells people, oh, you're gonna feel so different when that baby is born. And I think that might happen to women. I don't know if it happens to men, but if he's starting from so far behind and he just takes 2 steps forward towards being productive and actually useful in his life, then that still don't get you anywhere. So my warning to women would generally be, do not just take your eye off of that clock, that body clock. Do not let that be a decision-making factor for you to choose your life partner, because it's a trap. It's a trap, because then you end up, if you end up with a wrong life partner, it's more important to have the right person in your life than it is to have the right set of genes and to be able to procreate. If you end up with that wrong partner, all you have is another child to take care of. And that is not a good feeling.
Well, with that being said, now, let's talk now about the strategy that some of these men,
How to get into it.
how they get into it to secure the soft life, right? And first, yes, looks matter. I mean, let's not do the whole church thing when we pretend that pretty privilege isn't a real thing.
Oh yeah.
And some men have a face that a face card that never declines, right? But when you add on top of that good cologne and a clean fade and a soft voice and the consistent texting and just enough vulnerability to seem human, that's a marketing campaign. That's not a man. That's a marketing campaign, right? And a lot of these men, they don't target any woman. They will target a woman who is recently single, a woman who is emotionally exhausted, a woman who is tired of hard men, quote unquote, a woman who's craving affection, and the most obvious bit, a woman who has her life together.
And a woman who wants children.
That too. Right? So that's one strategy they use. Right? Another strategy they use is the whole emotional intelligence, right? Or it could be emotional tactics too. So
now that you say that, that's what catches me.
Yeah? Talk to me.
No. I want you to continue to explain. I haven't heard these points. So you have not shared these with me beforehand. So I'm learning from you as you go.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if he, he has the therapy language.
Oh
right?
my God!
He has the soft eyes. I hear, I hear what you're talking about. I see you, and I'm holding space for you, and I like those other men. I'm here for you, and I just want you to know that. And I mean, I'm not mocking the men who actually are emotionally intelligent, right? But
you saying it's performative.
We're saying that this is performative. We're talking about a predator here because essentially that's what he is, right? And these are people who will use emotional intelligence the same way scammers use fake receipts, right?
You're making me see things so differently right this minute.
But it makes a woman feel safe, and especially if she's a woman who falls into have those things that I said earlier, like the being single and emotionally exhausted. When a woman hears those things, right, she starts to feel safe. And then when she feels safe, she becomes generous. Her time, her body, her money. Sometimes it's real, but sometimes it's a tactic.
And sometimes she just has such a good life that she has to pay for him to participate. Like she goes on trips regularly, and she'd like her partner to go along with her. So she pays for the ticket. Right? She wants to go to these events. She wants to go out this often, and he can't afford to. But for them to all have a good time, she ends up taking the bill. You understand? So she's inviting him into her life, but he's not bringing any of his life to her because he don't really have one, or he's trying to escape one.
Lame Lewis on Instagram, she says true, and she says most men are visual most times. It's just the looks for them.
But with the women, it's not just the face card that gets them. I think it's more the emotional intelligence, because women have been taught to be careful with good-looking men. Like we learn that young.
Yeah.
We learned that young. But if you add that emotional intelligence piece, and you're seeing it like they're a predator, whereas I have always excused it as, two things can be true.
You think that's a trap that many women fall into? All two things can be true?
Yeah.
Because to me, I look at it like a weapon. Like that's a weapon. Because if he good looking And on top of that, he knows how to talk to you. He knows how to sweet mouth you and that kind of thing.
I
That's
had
a
need you around for
weapon.
the last 10 years of my life, and I had need you around. Where you was, man? I had to put you on the panel and make you do all the interviews.
You know, nothing before it's time. Nothing before. Nothing before it's time.
Boy, we fool.
Right? Oh,
Yo,
but here what is? But here's another strategy now. Here's another
tell me.
strategy.
I want to hear it.
Right? A man who got domestic skills.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Now, again, we're not talking necessarily about the house
I've
husbands,
been
you
hit
know.
by that one too. I've been hit by that one before.
We're not talking about the house husbands, you know. We're talking about the ones who like they know that this is something that will just get them in, like get them in, pass through the door. So we're not talking about, you know, a man that, you know, I'll fry an egg and call it, you know, that we're talking about somebody, you know, how seasoned food, real food.
That's a big one.
Right?
That's a big
And
one. Or he can use power tools and put things up.
Okay. All right.
Power tools,
And
boy. Power tools and high vis get me every time.
so but no, but I mean, but the thing is, right, is like when you have a man like that. I mean, remember he's a predator, right? And he comes in, he cleans without being asked, and he cooks,
Do it the
and
one
you know,
time and that's
and
it.
he does the well, maybe he does it a couple times before anything, right? And he does the laundry and he folds it, and you know, and he can this is a big one now. Yeah, man, yeah, babes, I can wash the children while you go out there, and not act like he's babysitting his own DNA, right? That man becomes a rare luxury, right? And I mean, like the women are not even looking for the money anymore because they're getting relief. So when he's helpful and he's consistent, or at least he appears to be consistent, and you know he's present, right? She feels like she can breathe. But here's the twist: domestic skills can be a contribution, like in the case of a house husband, or it can be camouflage. Because if he's cleaning and he's cooking, but that's not the arrangement that y'all have, and he's also not progressing or building or contributing financially at all, I mean, I think that a woman should eventually ask herself, you know, am I dating a partner, or am I raising a very affectionate roommate?
You know, you're really throwing me off for this one because I would be willing to accept the cooking and the cleaning and the domestic stuff because that's still a contribution. And I think that is a sign of just how low my standards had to fall for me to survive in the world in the last 10 years. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm spoiled. I'm a spoiled woman right now. I'm a very spoiled woman right now. So please, y'all don't read into this too heavy, right? Don't try to pick apart exactly who I'm talking about because the list would be anyhow. So you see, like the most common thing that I have seen is the younger man who actually does not contribute to, and you don't want him doing anything because he weaponizes his incompetence. So for instance, you ask him to clean up something and then he don't clean it up properly. So you're pissed off and exasperated, and you end up having to go clean up behind him after he has cleaned up. And you're like, well, what was the point of that? So then you stop asking because you know you're not going to get it. So that is the part that I don't like. That weaponized incompetence. Oh, I don't know how to do it. Oh, but I will show you. Oh, no, but this is how I was taught. Oh, well, why aren't you doing it? Right? And so it ends up being like the one that can never learn how to use a broom. Never learn how to use a broom. No matter how many times you show them, because they just can't do it. And the point is that they want you to stop asking. And they want you to stop expecting that from them. So they weaponize their incompetence, right? And that now I find to be one of the most insidious things because it is like it is like Chinese water torture. Eventually, like I'm very good at quitting, so but that one thing right there, that is the thing that always makes me quit. I will always quit when it comes to that. I will quit and run. But there are women who stay there waiting for years for them to show up. Another clue I think that we haven't come across yet is that he has big plans but is making no steps and has no idea of the bridge between where he is and where he's trying to be. So you can hear the wonderful plans and the business idea. Oh, the business ideas. Oh, the business ideas. Do not get me started on the friggin' business ideas. I have a business idea. I have a business. I never want to hear it again. I never want to hear it again. If you don't show up with a 5-page business plan, do not bring it back. Don't bring it up. So, if you have not sat down and done this business plan, because the business idea is that they present it to you on a silver platter, and that's another thing you have to be responsible for. Am I venting about my life? This is such a bad idea.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
This was such a bad idea.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Well, do you think then that well, what skills does a man need to secure a soft life, in your opinion?
He just needs to know how to pick a good target. You mean ethically, or you mean like being like that narcissist that drains a woman?
Well, both.
Well, being a narcissist is just a talent in and of itself. But ethically, you have the conversation. This is a lifestyle I would want to have. Is this something that you're willing to give me? And they tell you no or yes. Now, generally speaking, you have to be looking for somebody who is very, very well off, who does not see this as a hardship, who themselves is living a soft life. That's the only way you can pull that one off, in my opinion. However, I don't want to give advice on how to do that to people who would take advantage of women. So I think that I'm going to pass on that question. Ethically, it's all about consent. You have the conversation. But how you set yourself up for taking advantage of another human being's hard work and living off them like a leech, I'll tell you how I really feel.
But do you think good sex is part of the job description?
No. It should be. It should be.
I mean, you know, I would think that if you got mind a man.
If you got mind a man, the sex is no longer good. How you get it up for somebody that you have to take care of, who you have to almost like wipe their behind? You know how unsexy that is?
Tell me more. Tell us more.
You really listen. After this live, you better delete this video because I'm giving it to you raw and straight tonight, brother. This is the topic. This is my soapbox. You know. I can tell you how I really feel. No, man, when you want mind a man, when you have to mind a man, when you come home from your job and the house is a mess, even though he's been home all day, and you have to clean that house, you can't look at him and not feel disgust.
As a woman.
As a woman. Okay. Your panties are dry. And he then wants to have sex because generally speaking, men do, right? And at that point in time, you would like to have sex, but just not with him. And so then you end up in this position where you are like, you have to go through and clean up the house first, because women don't do that. We don't let ourselves be vulnerable in a dirty place.
Some women.
Most. You clean up your space to whatever standard you're comfortable with. And you get into this situation where you know you're tired and you want to slap him because he's been home all day. And you come home to this.
So having said that, now I want to play a clip for you and tell me what you think based on that, right?
You stop taking care of me.
I don't want to take care of you, Jim. I don't want to be your mother.
A woman needs a man in a relationship. I am a man.
You're a...
A woman needs a man in a relationship, not a boy. You looking for a little boy?
But I guess like that's you asking how a man gets a soft life. That's the man that wants to be a boy. He better stay home with his mama.
This now leads me to the whole double standard, right? I mean, and this is just me playing devil's advocate now, right?
That's
When
a
a
big one.
woman says, because I mean, there are women who know what they have,
Yeah, yeah.
right? They know what the man is about. Like they know he not no good, and they just accept him for what he is, and they're fine. They're fine with the arrangement, right? But I feel there's a double standard because when a woman says, "I want a provider," right? I mean, people might argue in this day and age, especially now, because women being independent and being able to provide for themselves, but it's still sort of framed as traditional, right? Okay, she wants stability, she wants a man to lead, she wants a man to take care of his family. But when a man says, "I want a woman to provide," they just, I mean, people don't even debate it. They just slap a label on him. Bum. Waste man. No nuance, no committee meet, just bum. Why is the judgment different?
That's a good question. And the thing is, I think the biggest judgment, the biggest difference, right, is that generally speaking, women who find themselves in a relationship where they are financially dependent on the man, generally speaking, the majority of them are in a housewife position. And we've already covered the house husband, where a man is contributing to the household by keeping the house in order, taking care of the children. The women come home to a clean house. They come home to a well organized home. Their family, they can trust the management of their home to their spouse. That's a different something. I would love that kind of arrangement. However, and that's generally speaking what most men get. Most men who are in a position where their partner is dependent or financially dependent on them, they are having their needs met. Their ties are all organized, color coded. Every single one of their collars is starched, and their shirts are completely ironed. Their house smells good. It's well decorated. They come home to a haven. There's food on the table. That's a different something, generally speaking. Generally speaking. And so I but I do believe that a man coming home at the end of a long day and their spouse who does not work is at home and the place is filthy is going to feel just as disgusted as a woman coming home at the end of a long day to her man who has been home all day and the house is disgusting. He's gonna that I believe that. And this is why I also believe that there was a lot of infidelity when women did not work, right? When women were not working, there was this whole I don't know if you ever watched Mad Men. Mad Men used to
Yeah,
drive
I've seen
me
a few
crazy
clips.
because of it. But Mad Men was like, I was like, that's what the 50s was like. Like, this is how it's often described, but it was just a quintessential, and it wasn't the 50s either, it was the 60s. But women, like the men would have all these affairs with the women and the secretaries and such, right? And sexual harassment was rife in the office, and it wasn't prevented, and it wasn't, women were not protected in those spaces. And then the wife was home taking care of the home, but there was also that, I feel like that imbalance led to that imbalance in power led to women being very badly treated. And now we're starting to see men trying to slip into that position, not recognizing that what we should be looking for is evenness and equality and support for each other. Balance. Finding balance, I think, is really like the most healthy place to create goals around. And, I keep teasing you like I want my soft life, etc. But when I think about what my soft life entails like actually still making a living, but just doing what I really, really want to do.
Well,
And so like soft life, this whole soft life movement of wanting to depend on somebody else is actually really more of a desire, in my opinion, at the healthy side of it, is more of a desire for balance, for not wanting to do things alone.
do you think that the gender roles are actually changing, though?
Yeah, they are. And I don't think that everyone's on board with the change. So that's why you have conversations about incels and and male loneliness.
Because
Gender roles
here's
are changing.
no, because I'm just thinking, right? You know, we get this weird modern contradiction, right? You know, because nowadays women are encouraged to be bosses, right? And
Mhm.
breadwinners and go out and get yours, but they're still expected to act like they need a man financially in order to be feminine, right?
Mhm.
And then the men are encouraged to be emotionally aware, but they're still mocked if they aren't financially dominant, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's sort of like everybody's encouraged to be modern, but they're still policing each other with old rules.
Yeah, but I feel as though like what you're describing is actually like a caricature of what is actually happening. I don't think it's quite that simple because there are men out there who are incredibly attracted to powerful women. And there are also women out there who don't are okay being the breadwinner as long as their partner is doing something. So I don't think it's quite as simple as the caricature that you just drew.
Okay.
There is such a thing as feminine leadership and feminine power, and I think that that is what is coming into its own right now because there was a time when female leadership had to look like a man. And now that's changing. You're starting to see female leadership look very feminine, like leadership wears a skirt, right? So there's a I think it's changing, but I don't think we've quite gotten to where we know what it's changing into yet because it's still in transition. I feel like we're still mid-step. But I worry. I worry for the men in our culture. I do worry for them because it can't be fun not knowing your place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that while women have often been the ones that have been treated very, very poorly traditionally for hundreds of years, thousands, in fact, um, right now we're starting to see this shift in balance, and I don't think men are coping well.
You think that men are being marginalized?
I don't think men are being marginalized. I think that men are not evolving fast enough to keep up with what's coming.
Hmm.
And this is why you're starting to see things like the 4B movement.
What's that?
Where women, oh, that
I
is
think
a
I think I
whole,
heard something about it like in Korea, but I don't know what it is.
yeah.
What
The
does it
4B
stand for?
movement started in Korea, but it's all over Asia, and it's actually moved into the United States as well, where women are. It's the 4Bs, and they're four things that they will not do with men. They will not marry them. They will not have sex with them. They will not do business with them, and they will not something else. And some people just do 2Bs. Some people just do 3Bs. Some people just do all 4Bs. And it's a boycott of men. And it started in Korea after a very, very awful kind of P. Diddy / Epstein style scandal that took place at one of the nightclubs where they
Mm-hmm.
were drugging and raping women and recording it. And when the
Wow.
news of it broke, there was this huge movement in Korea. And actually, the impact of that has been devastating to the Korean population because now they're starting to have to close down preschools because Korea's population is on the decline. And you're starting to see this internationally. You saw the Prime Minister of Jamaica calling people from the diaspora to come back home to address the falling birth rate in Jamaica. Why do you think that is? It's because women can lock their legs now. Women can say no. And so what that does, now that women are empowered to say no and empowered to shut down relationships with men, and they're empowered to live without them, now men have to actually be attractive for women to choose them.
You give me something to
And,
think about.
and by attractive, that means like you have to offer something that we value now, not what you expected us to value 50 years ago. And men are not figuring that out fast enough. All of our populations are in decline.
So then question then. So then the hardwood soft life man now, do you think maybe he's ahead of the game then? If you look at it from that lens.
Yeah, but he's still a grifter, so it doesn't last. And all that does is it comes back to bite men in the behind in the end, because the woman who is disappointed by him in the end will never be disappointed by another man again. It just hardens the woman's position to have to deal with that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We get harder and harder and harder to crack the more that you see this kind of shit. I mean, to see a soldier say something like that is devastating, because that is, that is like the that
Protector.
is the clip that stands out to me the most, because that is such an image of classic masculinity.
Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be the protector, right?
And you think that that's the protector, and then he's also willing to take it. Well, and this is classic. Like, people know this about the military. Like, women are treated poorly within the military, much less, right? But we're starting to break up all of the myths that we had around masculinity, around a lot of our social culture is like breaking down. Like, we're starting to see that, like, our leaders are pedophiles, and I mean, not ours, obviously. Well, I can't say that either, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But the kind of stuff that is going on underneath the surface is just creating a world that is in which there's so much distrust, and women in particular are learning that they have every reason to be distrustful. So it's going to be harder for that man to it's going to be harder. Women get harder and harder to deal with the more of this shit we have to face, because it's backlash to us stepping into our own power. It's a tantrum being thrown when we say, actually, no, you need to treat us like people.
So where has the time gone?
I know.
Do you have any closing message to leave with the audience on this topic?
I do. I do. I think you should go first. So let me formulate my thoughts a bit more, because I've been talking a lot.
Well, I guess my closing message would be the soft life itself isn't the problem. People can deserve ease and rest, but soft life is only sweet when it's honest, right? And if you're the one who's carrying the money, now this is these now are for the sponsors, right, quote unquote. If you're the one who's carrying the money, don't let romance turn you into a silent sponsor. Start asking the hard questions early, right? Not when you're already resentful and tired and you're sick of looking at him and he not doing this and he not doing that. Ask the hard questions early. And if you're the one who's being carried, don't let comfort make you entitled. Good sex might keep attention, but it's not going to keep respect. And when the respect leaves, whatever love or whatever, not even love, I think a better word would be tolerance, right? Usually follows right behind it, right? So if we took away the bills and the benefits and the bedroom, would you still choose that person? If the answer is yes, bless up. And if the answer is no, then that's not love you're protecting. I guess that would be my any message.
My final thoughts are really around fairness and consent and respect. And I feel like I think you're right. Like, everyone deserves softness in their lives, but softness comes from partnership. The true softness comes from partnership. That softness where you can actually look at yourself with self-respect and say, I deserve this. I actually really deserve this because I am a good partner. So I have it that, once again, consent is such a critical piece. Respect is a critical piece. Fairness is a critical piece. And I feel like that my big one, I think, really is for women, right? Be mindful of where you are in your own life and what your worth is, because it's so important to you for you to know who you are. But also, I feel like men also need to know their worth and understand that contributing to this world is just as valuable as being taken care of. So fairness is probably I'm all over the place for this one. I really don't have a final. Those are my final thoughts. Just hush me up. No, that's enough.
All right. Well, let's end it. Let's end it with this last video.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we'll just say good night, Cayman.
Good night.
Yo, so I don't know if Hannah knows this or not, but her and I almost just broke up. So we were having a date night, and she forgets her wallet. Just doesn't even bring it at all, right? And so here's my thing. It is the bare minimum when I'm in my soft guy era, and she knows that she should be paying for dates. The idea that she just thinks that I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna pay for it, like, can we bring back traditional roles? I'm the prize in this relationship. I'm the prize. Paying for dates is the bare minimum. Like, the bar is on the floor. Not to mention, I've been paying for my own creatine, my own protein shakes, my own supplements. Like, what's next? What, do you want me to pay my own rent? I miss there being strong, independent women in our culture. Don't touch me right now. I'm so serious. I'm honestly tempted to just walk out of the car right now, just out of the lack of sheer respect. Don't talk back.
Ladies, if anybody wants to treat me right, I am more than available.
Cause real love steady, it don't need show. It move like reggae bassline, nice and slow. Real talk, love and lies. We see through hard in disguise. Truth come first, we no compromise. Open your eyes, open your eyes. From Cayman shore to city lights. Real talk, love and we talk lies. Hold your heart, protect your vibes. It's real talk tonight.